Today I want to talk about talking about your child coming out as transgender and how that can sometimes be difficult, and how sometimes when we are in the middle of something, right? In the thick of it, like right when our child has first come out as being transgender, the first days and weeks in the first couple months, when we're still trying to figure out what's going on and how we think about it and how we feel about it, it can be hard to know how to talk about it because we're still trying to figure out what to say about it, first of all. And in those early days, there oftentimes you don't have the words to tell people what you're feeling or what you're thinking because you don't really know. You don't really know because you're feeling it's a therapy word. I'm going to apologize for using it. It's called being flooded. When you are just so overwhelmed with information or feelings or all things that you really just can't get a handle on a situation. And so when you're in the midst of that, right, and feeling flooded and overwhelmed and all things, when somebody asks you, hey, such and such a person, like, how are you doing? Instead of saying, I'm really struggling right now, or I'm having a hard time understanding X, Y, or Z, or I'm feeling really emotional about this part of the situation, or about this aspect of my child's coming out, right? Which are all things that you could say if somebody asked how you're doing. I think that what we do instead is we say, I'm fine, even if we're not fine, because it's easier than trying to, in that moment, tell somebody how you're feeling when you may not even know. Or trying to decide in that moment, is this a safe person for me to talk to? If I say, I'm really struggling right now about this thing, how is it going to be received by this person who I'm talking to? Are they going to take it and be able to, first of all, understand what I'm saying, and then let me be able to process those feelings or thoughts with them, or not? Or are they gonna, say something back to me that's going to be hurtful, or are they going to say something about my child in a way that makes me feel worse about myself or my kid? And so there's all this stuff, and it happens really quick. Like, you think all these things really fast in that minute, right? And sometimes you're just in a place where you may want to talk about what you're thinking or what you're feeling, but in that minute, in that moment, you just can't, because you're feeling too emotional that day, or you heard a song on the radio on the way to wherever you were going that made you feel a little bit upset. And so while the person may be a safe person to talk to, and you may have been able to share with them about whatever the thing was, in that minute, you just can't. And so you have to make the choice to say, I'm fine. Like, it's all okay. And I'm doing okay, even though you're not. Because you're just not always able to talk about what's going on and how you're feeling. I have a post on my website, the link is up in the thing, about how to decide if somebody is a safe person for you to talk to about your child. I think the post is actually called deciding who you can talk to about your child. It's something along those lines. If you go to my website and search in the search bar for I don't even know what you would talk about. Probably parenting and support, maybe. It might come up, or if you search for talk to about your child, I bet you that would pop it right up. And it basically talks about like how do you know who to, first of all, to decide who you can talk to about your child, but then it's also knowing if you're capable in that minute of talking to somebody else about your child, and then do you want to, right? Do you want to share about what's going on? And I shared on Instagram this week about how when Leo first came out for that first year, I didn't really share about how I was feeling with anybody, really. Like, there was maybe 4 people in my life, and one of them was my therapist, that I even talked to about what was going on and how I was feeling. And it wasn't that I didn't have other people that I could talk to, because I did. It was that I chose not to talk to all those other people because most of the time I was not in a place where I could talk to other people about what was going on with me, about how I was feeling. And also, other people didn't ask how I was doing. And I've shared before that I took that a little bit personally. And so because of that, I also didn't reach out to other people to let them know how I was doing. So I think that sometimes we have to put ourselves out there first if we are in a place that we can do that. And we're not always. And I recognize that. And I think if you're not in a place where you can do that, then I don't recommend pushing yourself to do that. I don't think that it's healthy to share about what's going on or how you're doing if you are not comfortable doing that. However, if you are in a place where you feel like you want to talk about how you're doing or how your child is doing or how you feel about your child being transgender, I think it's very valuable to do so. I think it's very healthy and it's healing. And I think that sometimes you just have to take the initiative and find the people who you feel safe to do that with, because it helps to be able to process what's going on in your life with other people who are good listeners, who are empathetic listeners, and who will be able to just sit with you and listen and understand and not try to solve anything and not try to fix anything and not try to tell you this is what you should do or this is how you should be feeling or try to do any of those kind of things, and just be like, wow, that must be hard. Tell me more about that. Or, give you those kind of empathetic feedback responses that help you to have better conversations with them. So I've already rambled on about this longer than I intended to. I just wanted to come on here and talk about that a little bit. If you have any questions about talking about your child being transgender with other people, or finding safe people to talk about your child with, feel free to drop them in the comment box down there, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. And yeah, if this was a little super rambly, I am operating on very minimal sleep for the past almost a week or so I apologize for my rambling nature. And I will be back here again next week. And thank you for being here and for listening and for your support. And let me know if there are other ways that I can support you. And thank you for supporting each other and for being such a great community. Okay, have a good day. Bye.